Okay, Meg Ivanin, and welcome back to another random film review. I'm going to review a movie called Marry Me, I think is the title. It's kind of new on Amazon Prime. It stars Jennifer Lopez, it stars Owen Wilson, uh, Sarah Silverman, and the dude that was in Game of Thrones. He was Tarly, I forgot his first name, I should have looked this up, but he was a best friend of Jon Snow, kind of a fat guy. He worked at the Wall with Jon Snow. He gave later on Joran or whatever, the guy that was in the Resident Evil films, a bad guy, the British guy. He gave him his Valyrian steel to fight, and in the episode the Darkest Night or whatever, or the, the the night battle against the Night King. He gave him his Valyrian steel. I forgot his name now. Jonan, but Tarly, the fat Tarly. It stars him. He's the manager of Jennifer Lopez's character. Her name is Kat Valdez, I think was her name. And there's another guy. I think maybe he might be famous too. I've never heard of him, but his name in the movie is called Sebastian or Sebastian, and he's a singer, Hispanic. And okay, so this I know sounds like an odd one that I'm doing a review for. Like, what am I doing watching this? But I like shit like that too. Okay, so Marry Me. It is a romantic comedy kind of film, but more on the romance side, and not not like your typical comedy where everything is just like a joke. I mean, there's some. It's just a fun one, like a romantic, fun film with comedy elements. So Jennifer Lopez is Kat Valdez, and she's a pop star, and she was gonna marry Sebastian on stage, but then there was a video footage that went viral that he was cheating on Kat Valdez with her assistant, with Kat's assistant. So when she's up on stage in her concert, and the guy's there too, getting ready to do it, to marry, and Owen Wilson happens to be there. He has a daughter. He's a math teacher, and he was kind of coerced into going over there in the concert. People are carrying signs, marry me. And Sarah Silverman, I believe, had that sign. Why? Why would she want Kat Valdez to marry her? Maybe she's a lesbian. I didn't know it. But anyways, gives Owen Wilson the sign to hold it. And so she's up there, Kat Valdez, and she's panicking because, like, shit, I don't want to marry this guy. And she's up there, and she gives like a speech, and finally says, basically says that she's not going to marry him because he cheated on her. So I'm going to marry just someone right now, randomly. So she sees Owen Wilson's character. How come I can't remember his name? But Owen Wilson's character holding the sign. She goes, "Okay, I'll marry you. Get up here." So then at first he's hesitant, and he goes up there, and then they marry. And that's the whole film, is them getting to know each other and get used to each other and stuff like that. Different kind of lifestyles. You get to see how she be living, as a pop star, and how he's living as just a regular, he's not doing so bad. He's a math teacher, so he's not like lower class. He's maybe middle. To be quite honest, he's like in the upper middle class, but compared to her, of course, he's not making nearly as much money, so he doesn't seem as rich as her, right? But he's doing okay. So I like that. I kind of I really like that. I like how the whole scenes of them getting together. There's like a little kind of pop music that plays, not so annoying. Kind of reminded me of the date scenes in Karate Kid, and even Karate Kid 2, although the music wasn't the same, and Karate Kid 3 when he was with the redhead girl in that, Daniel LaRusso. But how it would play like an 80s track. This wasn't an 80s track that was playing, but it would just reminded me of it. It's more of a modern pop kind of thing, but not so annoying, like I said. And it would play while they're going on a date and having fun. So a similar thing like that, a little montage scene of that went on, and I like those moments. It was quite nice. And what was the thing I was going to bring up too? Uh, and even in Cobra Kai, they did it also in Cobra Kai, that type of thing. But anyways, now the downside a little bit is the songs that she performs. The fake songs made for the movie. I thought they were crap. And the "Marry Me" song, it's okay now. I can tolerate it now. It's not so bad, especially when she's singing it, and then you have the chorus of the kids singing in the background. But not when she was singing it with Sebastian on stage when they were singing it. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, what is this shit? This song is crap, and then pretty much 90%, not like 98% of the songs that she sang on there. There's not like a whole lot, but I would say a very small handful of them. They weren't good, except for one, and it's when she went to the school, and she performed a song kind of like impromptu in front of in the gym. They were having like a dance or something, and it was a song that she wrote herself. She never released it, and it came from the heart. It really felt like that, and she sang it, and it was actually a pretty good, decent song. I could actually listen to that. So yeah, that's the only song that was actually I found to be pretty good. And I like this, and getting to know the daughter, and Sarah Silverman taking charge of everything. Like, she couldn't believe she's like in the spotlight now, but she never really let it get too over her head. I mean, there are scenes where it's kind of funny where she slightly does, but she kept herself, the way she was before she started to become kind of popular by association of, of Kat and Owen Wilson. She's kept that. She was still that same. She kept her personality, and I love that about her character. Daughter was cool. It's not an action flick. Oh, and unlike most films of this type, how there's always going to be a scene somewhere in the middle end where the couple would get into some whatever kind of fight, whether the person cheated or says something wrong, and they get into this fight, and then they break up, and then something happens. They come back. It doesn't follow that same formula. There is a part near the end where something does kind of happen for a brief moment, but it wasn't really an argument. It was just more of, I guess you could call it either a misunderstanding or, I'll just say it has something to do with Owen Wilson not feeling like he fits in or belongs in her world, that kind of thing. And it doesn't even last long. And it wasn't even like they were like yelling at each other and saying mean things to each other, which I don't like. So if you even want to consider that type of a scene, it didn't really have that typical, okay, they're going to fight and then they're going to break off and they're yelling at each other and then something happens and they come back and, that's shit. That's a shit formula. I know they did it in something like As Good as It Gets, but it wasn't so bad in that either. That one I can tolerate it because it had veteran actors that could handle shit like that. You had Jack Nicholson, you had Helen Hunt, so and then of course Greg Kinnear in the middle. This one you have Jennifer Lopez, you have Owen Wilson. In lesser hands, the film I could see fail, but because it had those two, it was actually quite good. And a nice little fun fact: it reunites Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez, because many years ago, I want to say like 90, was it 97 or 98? I think it might have been in 97, or it could have been no, it's either between 97 to 99. I'm not too sure. I think it was 97 actually. Anaconda, John Voight, Carrie Woo, her Ice Cube, Jennifer Lopez, Eric Stoltz, Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson was the cameraman in Anaconda for Jennifer Lopez's character, and in there he was the boyfriend of Carrie Wooher's character. They were both the camera crew. Same thing with Ice Cube. I think he was also part of the camera crew as well. So that was kind of cool to see those two reunite. Anyways, that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed. I would give Marry Me, I would give it 8 out of 10. It's that good, so do check it out. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and see you.